And let us look at this question that demands us to use the completing square method to solve this quadratic equation. So I'm given the equation as x squared less 7x, then this is added to 10, and our answer must be 0. So we are told to solve this quadratic equation using the completing square method. So this is the solution to the question. How do you use the completing square method to solve a quadratic equation? So the solution is here. The first thing, I'm going to write down the equation, and all students are always advised to ensure that the coefficient of x squared is 1 before anything else can get done in terms of solving this question. Please ensure that the coefficient of x squared is 1, and just in case we may have a number like 2, then please the first thing to do is to divide all through by 2 so that you can be able to make the coefficient of x squared to be 1. That is the first step. Now that the question given does not have any value in terms of the coefficient of x squared, we shall just proceed to the next step. So the next step is to take the constant onto this other side of the equal sign. So I'll be left with x squared less 7x is equal to 0 less 10. That is correct. Now we shall have x squared less 7x is equal to negative 10. This is where now someone is supposed to introduce this concept of b over 2 squared. So I just say b divided by 2, and this is squared. So we'll take this just down here. So I've been able to get given x squared minus 7x is equals to negative 10. Now I'm supposed to introduce this concept of b over 2 squared. I know very well this equation is in the form ax squared plus bx. Of course is equals to what? Our c. So it is always in the form of a quadratic what? Writing that you can be able to get the value of b. And with that, I think everyone can actually know that the value of b is 7. So then we shall say x squared, the value of a is 1, the coefficient of x squared is 1. And the value of b is negative 7, the coefficient of x. And the constant is negative 10, when on this other side of the equal sign. So x squared minus, I'm supposed to take that b, which is 7, I divide that by 2, then I square. There's no need for me to write again that x. You can literally be able to drop it at that point. It still works well for us. So that must be equal to negative 10. Of course, we are completing the square. So we still do the same thing. So we shall say 7 over 2. And this is also squared. So with 7 over 2 squared, 7 over 2 squared, that makes sense to us. So we are then supposed to proceed. This is squared, this is squared. So you can just say x less 7 over 2, and all this can get squared because this is x squared, this is 7 over 2 squared. So you can just say x minus 7 over 2, then everything is squared. That must be equal to minus 10 plus 49 over 4. Why 49 over 4? I know very well. 7 squared is 49, 2 squared is 4. Please, because you're going to introduce a square on this side, you're actually advised not to square these two parts. Please leave them the way they are. Just leave it the way it is, 7 over 2 then squared. So we shall have x squared minus 7 over 2 squared. When combined, we shall have x minus 7 over 2 squared. That must be equal to negative 10 plus 7 squared, 49. 2 squared, that is 4. So let's get the answer to this part. That is negative 10 plus 49 over 4. So negative 10 plus 49 over 4. That gives us 2.25. So I'll proceed then have x minus 7 over 2 is squared. The answer must be equal to 2.25. So the next thing to do is to end up introducing square root on both sides. Why? We want to do away with this square because you can't get the value of x if the square is here. So we shall introduce square root here and introduce as well square root on this side. So I'll be able to have the square and the square root disappearing. Look at this. If I say the square root of 4, then I still square the same thing. I'm going to get the same answer. So that means the square root of 4 is 2. And 2 squared is 4. So square and square root can disappear when someone actually does introduce that square root anywhere where there is a square. So I'll be left with x minus, of course 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. The answer must be equal to, whenever a square root is introduced anywhere in mathematics, there must be a positive and a negative sign also getting introduced. In that case, we shall say the answer is 1.5. Of course, the square root of 2.25 is 1.5. So we shall have either positive 1.5 or negative 1.5. Now we want to get the values of x. How? We'll come here, then say x minus 3.5, the answer must be equal to plus or minus 1.5. We shall take 3.5 onto this other side of the equal sign. So we'll be left with x is equals to plus or minus 1.5. This is negative, it will become positive 3.5. So my answers to this will be x is equal to, and I'll just say plus 1.5 plus 3.5. I'll still use positive and again come back and use negative. So plus 1.5 plus 3.5, I'm going to get the answer as 5. I'll still come back and say x is equals to negative 1.5 plus 3.5. So minus 1.5 plus 3.5, that's the same as saying 3.5 minus 1.5, that gives you 2. So that means your values of x are x is equals to 2 and x is equals to 5. If told to write down the expressions that can actually satisfy that working, you can come up with x minus 2, then x minus 5. Those will be the two expressions that can actually get multiplied for us to get that as our answer. But literally the values of x are 2 and 5.